Welcome back, dear children. We are seeing about reflexive pronouns, right? The reflexive pronouns are myself, yourself, herself, himself, itself, ourselves, yourselves, and themselves. Okay? These words can be either reflexive pronouns or, in other words, we will call this as emphatic pronouns. So, fully a reflexive pronoun is used when something does something to itself, right? For example, I told you, you pinched yourselves, you pinched yourself, you bet yourself, you hit yourself, you are doing by yourself. All these are done by you to yourself, to the subject. Right? So, here an example is given, John pinched himself. The reflexive pronoun himself tells us that John did something to John itself. Right? Compare the example above with this. John pinched his sister. Then do you think is this a reflexive pronoun, dear? John pinched himself is reflexive pronoun. I accept it. John pinched his sister. Is it a reflexive pronoun? Yes, I need your answer, dear. No. Very good. John did something to someone else, right? Not to himself, to someone else. That is to his sister. So, it is not a reflexive pronoun. John pinched his sister is not a reflexive pronoun. John pinched himself is a reflexive pronoun. Is it clear? Right? So, reflexive pronoun. Two examples I will give you to make it clear. Right? First example, we checked ourselves for lice. Lice, right? Ourselves is a reflexive pronoun and this reflects back on the subject we. Ourself is a reflexive pronoun and it reflects back to the subject we, right? So, we checked ourselves is an exact reflexive pronoun. Another one example, while calling on the gods, a man should himself lend a hand. Man should himself lend a hand. Himself and a man. Himself is reflected back on a man, a noun. Right? This is a subject here. So, it is a reflexive pronoun. Can you able to understand reflexive pronoun, dear? Yes? We'll move to the next one. Right? So, intensive or emphatic pronoun. I told you emphatic pronoun. An intensive pronoun, sometimes called an emphatic pronoun, refers back to another pronoun or a noun in the sentence to emphasize it. What is emphasize? Take your dictionary and search the word meaning for emphasize. To emphasize, that is the thing carrying out the action. So, for example, John bakes all the bread himself. Intensive pronoun himself refers back to the noun John itself. The cat itself opened the door. So, itself refers to the cat. So, intensive, emphatic. Both are same. Right? Next. An intensive pronoun is used to refer back to a noun or pronoun in order to emphasize it. I told you before itself. A list of intensive pronouns, reflexive pronouns, intensive and emphatic. See how many names I used for this: intensive, reflexive and emphatic. 3 words I used for the same pronoun, reflexive pronoun. If in a question paper, if I asked you to write, underline the reflexive pronoun, then you will underline himself, herself, itself, all that. Okay? Ma'am taught me reflexive pronoun, so I am writing. If I am asking you to underline intensive pronoun or I am giving you emphatic pronoun, then all these three names represent the same reflexive pronoun. Children, intensive pronouns, reflexive pronouns, emphatic pronouns. Three names for only one pronoun, the same pronoun, reflexive pronouns, okay? So, myself, yourself, herself, himself, itself, ourselves, yourself, themselves. These words can be either intensive pronouns or reflexive pronouns, right? So, children, don't get confused. For your level, this is enough. Intensive, reflexive, emphatic, all the same, okay? Intensive pronouns example, Sarah can open it herself. So, herself emphasizes about Sarah. See the word emphasizes. Before I told you reflects. Okay. Now I am using the word emphasizes. Talks about. Right. Intensive pronoun. It's all the same. But I used a different wordings for that. Right. Sarah can open it herself. Herself represent or emphasizes Sarah subject. Right. So it is an intensive pronoun. So another one example, we can raise the fund ourselves. Ourselves is an intensive pronoun. Ourself emphasizes to we. Right. You understood this? So now as the parents and children are getting confused with what to write in classwork, I am just showing you the slides which can be in your classwork. If you wrote more also, don't bother, don't strike it out, don't do anything, let it be there. Okay. If you wrote less, then you can add some more things, right? So what is a pronoun, and give examples. Types of pronouns, personal pronouns. This tabular column, I need this tabular column. If you missed also, please write it at the last, right? Demonstrative pronouns. Then this example, very small example, no need this figure, this hand and all. If it is tough also, no problem. You write near for singular, plural, this, that, these, those. That is enough. No need flowers and hands and all. If it is interesting and you can do it, means you do it. Otherwise, no problem. Indefinite pronoun, definition with example. Then indefinite pronoun with some more example. In interrogative pronouns, this question words. Possessive pronouns with this tabular column. Relative pronoun with this definition. An example, reciprocal pronouns. This example also I need. Reflexive pronouns with example. Then one more, intensive pronoun. Okay, because you should understand what is reflexive, what is intensive, and what is emphatic. All three represent the same, right? So that you should understand. For that I need this intensive pronoun example and reflexive pronoun example, right? So now it is quiz time. I am going to ask question to you and check out the answer, right? Underline the pronoun and state its kind. Underlining a pronoun is easy. For example, he. I can underline it. So what type of pronoun it is, that also you have to say me. He is my best friend. He killed himself. I met her yesterday. She wants to go to the market. I myself wash my clothes. They cleaned the room themselves. She herself answered the phone. I hurt myself while shaving. The principal himself distributed the prizes. Each of the boys was given a present. That is the red fort. One should love one's country. None of his poems have been translated into English. Either of you can go. Either way leads to the railway station. Right? So next is, I saw a girl who was very beautiful. Have you ever met a woman who lives next door? This is the laptop which my father gifted me on my birthday. So 18 questions I gave you. Okay. For underlining the pronoun, you take 1 mark. Okay. And if you are representing, then you have to take another 1 mark. Right? More than one pronoun is there, then you take 2 marks for that. Okay, check it out. He is my best friend. He is a pronoun. He is a personal noun. He killed himself. He is personal pronoun. Himself is reflexive pronoun. Very good. I met her yesterday. I is personal pronoun. Her is also a personal pronoun. She wants to go to the market. She is personal pronoun. I, myself. I is personal pronoun. Myself is emphatic pronoun. Emphatic, reflexive, all that. Okay, you can write anything. Shall I move to the next 5? They cleaned the room themselves. They is personal, themselves is emphatic. She herself answered the phone. She is personal and herself is emphatic. I hurt myself while shaving. I is personal pronoun. Myself is reflexive pronoun. The principal himself distributed the prizes. Himself is emphatic pronoun. Each of the boys was given a present. Each is distributive pronoun. Okay, distributive pronoun here. Next is, that is the red fort. That is demonstrative pronoun. One should love one's country. One is indefinite pronoun. None of his poems have been translated into English. None is indefinite pronoun. Either of you can go. Either is distributive pronoun. You is personal pronoun. Children, can you able to understand all these? Neither of the acquisitions is true. Neither is distributive pronoun. So, I hope all these, whichever I am saying, has to be checked by you. First, you have to pass the question. You have to write the answers. Then you have to check the answer. Okay. Divide the marks, dear. One more. 16th question. I saw a girl who was very beautiful. I is personal pronoun and who is relative pronoun. Have you ever met the woman who lives next door? You is personal pronoun and who is a relative pronoun. This is the laptop which my father gifted me on my birthday. This is a demonstrative pronoun, which is the relative pronoun, and me, here I didn't underline me is a personal pronoun. So children, 18 questions I asked, 18 answers I displayed for you. For example, 1 mark I told you to assign for each and every pronoun, and each and every identification of that type of pronoun you have to allot 1 mark. Right? This, if you are identifying this, then it carries 1 mark. If you are identifying demonstrative, then it carries another 1 mark. So for this itself, you will get 2, 2 and 2. 6 marks. Children, guess what is the mark? Not guesses, it has to be exact. Allot the mark and tell me how many marks you scored for this particular 18 questions. Right? Is it clear? During live session, we will discuss and we are ready to clarify all the doubts. So, grammar part for chapter 2 is over dear, and I hope it will be useful for you. And take a note dear. Thank you so much, and We will meet soon in the next